Good morning everyone. We're going to go through a full body movement flow just to get some energy and feel good for the rest of your day. We'll start by gently squeezing the fists. You want to build about 50% tension, and we're just going to have the arms by our sides, and to begin with we'll just work into our neck. So as we're in this position, just start by breathing in and out of your nose. We're going to start by bringing the chin to the chest. Take it across to one shoulder. Feel that nice long stretch through the side of the neck. Open up through the throat, keeping your jaw closed. Across to the other side, and then down. We'll go back the other way. Take it across, open up. And back to the chest, still breathing through the nose, still squeezing the fist. Let's go again. And back once more each way. And release. That should feel really nice to just loosen off tension to the neck, the traps, the shoulders, into the chest. And hopefully your shoulders and your neck feels good for that one. For this one, we're going to do some pass-throughs. You can use a resistance band or some leggings or anything you've got available. And all we're going to do is take a nice wide grip. We're going to keep the little pinky finger down, thumbs are wrapped around the bar or the object, and the arms are straight. Let's take the arms up, allow the shoulder blades to elevate. Open the chest as we bring the arms back behind and then all the way back again. So we're keeping the arms straight, and as I said, those little pinky fingers are down. Allow the shoulder blades to glide, and if it feels good, you can start to go a bit narrower, but just listen to your body. Notice how that feels into the chest, into the front of the shoulders. As you're moving, we're also keeping the lower ribs down, so just be aware if you start to move and you're arching your back. Let's keep the ribs in, slightly tuck the tailbone, take the arms up. It should feel nice to just loosen off some tension to the chest and get the shoulders moving and rotating. Last little one. I'm going to take one arm up and behind, and then the other arm forwards. And then switch, take the arm back, and the other one comes forwards. And just keep alternating each way. And then when you had enough, rest. Hopefully your shoulders feel good for that one. Let's work into the spine. We'll bring the hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. So in this tabletop position, we're starting from the base of the spine, and all we'll do from here is tuck the tailbone, begin to press up through the lower vertebra, work your way to the mid-back, all the way up to the upper back. And once we're at the top, we're going to tuck the chin, press the floor away. Then from here, tilt the pelvis forward, starting to work into the lower back, then the mid-back, building our way all the way up to the upper back. Extending our spine, tuck your shoulder blades down into your back pockets, lift the eyes, open your chest between the shoulders. And we'll do the same again, tuck the bum under, pressing up through one vertebra at a time. Or visualize that's what you're doing. Tilt the pelvis forwards, work your way up. Take a breath in through the nose as you really expand the chest and open it. And let's go again, tuck the tailbone, curling up, rounding out, pressing the floor away. Tilt it forwards, slowly segmenting your way up the back. And then release. Continue to move in and out of your cat and cow for another couple of minutes if that feels good for your body. Let's hook our toes from this kneeling position and just have a bit of a wiggle about into the feet. We're going to grip down through the toes into the mat, so really pushing down into the toes. You'll feel some intrinsic heat building up in the feet and you'll feel those muscles firing up. From this position, we'll then unhook and you can have a go at just lifting one knee or lifting them both together, stretching into the tops of the feet. Come back to that position with our toes hooked. And from here, we'll have a little go at pulling ourselves into a squat. You can do this with your hands, so you can just press into the hands a little as you lift the knees, sending the heels back. Don't worry if they don't touch the floor, just go to where you can. If they can come down, sit into that deep squat. Then let's go back up onto the tiptoes. Once again, you can use your hands, lower the knees to the floor. Give the soles of the feet a good stretch, grip down through the toes, unhook again. Lift one knee or lift both. And this time, let's hook the toes. See if we can pull ourselves back without using the hands. So grip, use the strength in your feet to do this. Grip down through the toes, lift them up, and then take those heels to where you can. In the deep squat, try to feel this activation in the front of the shin, letting those knees travel forwards. And then let's lift up, having a little go now at sending the knees down without the hands, but of course use them if you need to. Really slowly opening the hips, trying to touch down nice and soft. And then from here, unhook. Another little stretch in the tops of the feet. And again, continue to go through that for another couple of minutes if that feels good. From our kneeling position, and you can do this sitting anyhow that feels comfortable for your body. So if you'd rather be cross-legged, that's fine, or use some cushions for assistance. We're going to place the hands onto the thighs. Think about rolling around through the trunk of the body. So think about opening and sticking the chest out at the front, pressing out through the side of the body, rounding out through the back, and then making that into a bit more of a fluid motion, rolling around one way, change direction, roll the other way. It's working, you might get a few little clicks and pops as you move. Just open up some space in the body. You can stay with this variation or you can come into a tabletop. And again, make these circles rolling around through the spine. Keep the arms straight, tuck the tailbone at the top, press out, pressing out through the side of the body as we go across and then pulling the belly down at the bottom. Change direction. Just feels nice to get into some places that maybe you couldn't get into in those cat and cows. And then release. Great way to just open up some tension through the side of the body and the ribs and even into the hips. Another great one from tabletop. All we'll do is add some rotation into the spine. So we're just going to take hand to ear. We'll draw this elbow through and underneath and then open it up. Going to as far as you can go in this position. Hold it there. Take a breath in and then exhale. Let's go a bit further. Another inhale and exhale, twist. And then release. Onto the other side, hand to ear, draw the elbow through and under. Open it up, find that end range position, take a breath in. Exhale, twist. And again, inhale and exhale. Always finding a bit more space. Let's go again on the other side. Hand to ear, take it under, open it up. Exhale, twist deeper. And switch, hand to ear, draw it through and under, open it up. Take another breath. And exhale, twist. And release. Have a bit of a wiggle about in the spine. Hopefully your spine and shoulders, the mid upper back will feel really nice for that one. Let's get some heat into the hips. We're going into tabletop again. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips. And all we'll start by doing is just tucking one knee in. Try to keep the back nice and flat. So just take that hip into flexion. And then from this position, we're actually going to pull the toes up. So we're flexing the foot. Take the leg out to the side into hip abduction. Don't try to force it up and twist or tilt at the hips. Lift it up, feel the outer hip engage. Slowly take that leg into hip extension at the back. And again, in this position, we want to be feeling the glutes and the hamstrings, not the lower back. So don't try to kick it high to find that range. Tuck the bum under, draw the lower ribs in. And you may find that you don't fully open and extend that hip, but you're just going to your end range. So it's really relative to you. We'll go back into hip flexion, take it back, feel the glutes firing up, adding a bit of a pause, and then slowly out to the side into hip abduction. And back into the start. Onto the other side, so we'll go into hip flexion, flexing that foot, take it out, abduction. Slowly taking it back into hip extension, feeling the glutes firing up here, drawing it in, back to flexion, and then reverse. Take it back, adding a pause. You can add longer pauses here as well. Out to the side, back into the start. And we'll go again. Opposite side, draw the knee in, flex the foot, take it out. Slowly making that circle. Taking it, our hip into extension here. Back into hip flexion and then reverse it. Onto the other side, drawing it in and taking it out. Slowly transitioning into hip extension. Draw those lower ribs in. Take the knee in and back. Out to the side and back into that starting position. So again, a few more repetitions each side perhaps, get some heat into the hips, really feeling the structures around the hip firing up, and hopefully your hips feel nice and open after doing that one, guys. We'll go for some nice easy hip rotations. So all we'll do from here is bring the hands behind so you can lean back a bit, have the feet wide. And this is really relative to your body, so don't worry if you can't get your knees all the way to the floor. You're just going to go to where you can. And we'll just start by taking one knee in, take it back out, and then switch to the other side. And just start by going in on both sides into that hip internal rotation. And then we're going to add the external rotation as well. So one knee goes in and one goes out. Open them up together and to the other side. You can also sit yourself up on some cushions here as well if that helps. Nice and slowly, moving side to side. So this is quite relaxed. We're not using any strength really while we're here. We're just opening up some space first. We can start to add in or make it a bit more challenging in a moment. We're just telling the hips where we want them to go. You can continue with this variation or have a go at sitting up and actually bringing the hands off the floor, and we'll squeeze the fists from this position. We're going to breathe in and out of our nose. Thinking about using the diaphragm, so you should feel this expansion of the ribs on the inhale, 360-degree expansion, and feel everything compress on the exhale as you push the air out. So breathing in and out of the nose, taking the legs across, bringing them back up again and across to the other side. At the moment, I'm just keeping my torso forwards as the hips rotate. And on this one, all we're going to do is sit up nice and tall. Again, you can have cushions, something to support this front hip. As we sit up, we're going to press the legs down into the floor nice and actively. Breathe through the nose and really feeling that breath and the use of the diaphragm. So really feeling that 360-degree expansion of the ribs. And if you're not sure, you can just place your hands with your fingertips touching on the lower ribs. And as you inhale, you want to feel those fingertips separate as we fill up the lungs. As you exhale, feel them draw together and really focus on pushing the air out on those exhales. We're going to press this front leg down into the floor, really feeling the knee and the hip pushing down and the ankle. You can have the hands on the ground, and then from this position, we're just going to think about lifting this back knee up and take it down again. So working into this hip external rotation on the back hip, fit a lot of heat into this outer hip. Keep pressing that front leg down, and we'll just go for 5, so that's 2. On this last one, we're going to lift this back knee and hold it there. Take a breath in. On your exhale, tell that knee to go a bit further. There's always a bit more space. And again, take a breath in and exhale. Once more, inhale. Still pushing this leg down, and exhale. Resisting those hips away from each other. And now you're going to get to a point where you're stuck, and that's where we're going to transition all the way across to the other side, and we'll do the same again. So you'll notice this on this variation, I've had my hands on the floor. You can keep your hands elevated with the fist squeeze for the whole thing, but this will feel a little bit easier to begin with. So press this front leg down into the floor, really feel that activation in the hip. And we'll start with just by 5 raises with this back knee, taking the hip into external rotation. So lifting up, breathing in and out of your nose. On this last one, we're going to hold it. Holding it here, pushing this front leg down, still breathing through the nose. Inhale, fill up those lungs. Exhale, take it out further. And again, another breath. And exhale. Once more. Shaking. Nice and slowly start to transition across to the other side. And you can obviously repeat that as often or as many times as you like. It will feel really challenging. You will and almost should feel on the verge of cramp as you're going through that last one that we just did. This will really help with that rotation of elevate your hips, taking us into our end ranges, building some strength, some heat, and hopefully just opening up and waking your body up, which will make you feel better for the day ahead. Let's go into downward dog. So from your tabletop, have your hands shoulder width, feet hip width, spread the fingers, hook the toes, send your bum back and lift your hips. We are taking the head and the chest through the shoulders. Press the ground away, you'll feel the shoulder blades elevate or upwardly rotate, and then we'll just extend one leg and switch them over. Don't worry if your heels don't touch the floor, just keep pedaling. Breathing in and out of your nose. We're going into the hips, so take one foot up towards the same hand. So I'm going to go right foot towards right hand. Nice deep lunge. You can stay on the hands, you can elevate the hands on blocks. Make some circles into your hips. If it feels good for your body, you can perhaps draw the forearms down, but don't force this one. If one arm doesn't want to touch the floor, try to lengthen the spine, squeeze the glutes, and then let's go back to downward dog. And switch. Making those circles, searching for areas that feel a bit tight today, and then maybe working arms down. We'll go back to the hands and back to downward dog. Again, stay here for a few minutes, really open your body up. We'll go into a bit of lateral flexion, so feel really nice for opening space in the ribs and getting into the hip and the lower back. So we're just going to take one hand out to the side, opposite arm reaches up. Keep both your butt cheeks down on the floor, don't let one lift up. We're just going to reach up all the way over. You can bend this bottom arm. Going as far as you can, take a breath in through your nose. As you exhale, really expand out through this top side of the ribs as you pull in through the bottom side. Up and over to the other side. Reaching up, reaching over. Find that length first. Press the bum into the mat. Inhale through your nose. Open up on the exhale. Find some more length through that top side. Pull in through the bottom side as you reach. You can bend the top arm. And again, reaching up, reaching over. You can go a little bit quicker if you like, or you can stay at this pace. Try to spend a couple of minutes moving side to side, trying to avoid this happening. Keep your bum on the floor. Give the shoulders a roll and release.